All right, here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of Burning Crowns, the Burning Wheel role-playing James. Let's get back into everything. So far we've seen some arguments thrown down, as well as we'll see in the future how merchants are mad at the prophet. Cool. So, what do we want to do for the next part, guys? We have more private meetings to attend, right?
If there's nothing else, I want to talk to Zidamir right before the council meeting.
Okay. Sweet. So Zidamir is stationed outside your bedroom.
Right. Of course, call him in.
Yeah. Right. So
he stands
in. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Zidamir, it's
Sulius
time.
Will play him.
It's time to talk.
He just bows his head, and he's kneeling to you, right? He's waiting for you to speak, right? He will speak when given permission.
I think. Wow. Really? All right. I just had a really good image. He's kneeling down like a knight would before a lord. There's a single window casting light down upon him, and Swan is standing in shadow doing the swan stance. And then everything freezes and it's watercolored. And I'm like, yeah, this is right where the scene I went. Zidamir, it's been a month and a half. Abadar has sent me visions of what he would like from you. While he can forgive your betrayal, he will never forget it. You are stripped of your title as a holy knight, and you will never again lead an order. But I understand why you did what you did, out of compassion or love or perhaps wanting to start a family with Mason. Explain to me the motivation you had.
Let me look at Zidamir's beliefs.
There's a loud gagging sound somewhere in the off distance.
Oh shoot, I did need to change some beliefs, but oh well. He's going to look at you and he will say, I believe I was mistaken about Mason. I have no excuse. I accept whatever punishment you deem fit.
Swan is gonna pour him a glass of orange juice and hand it to him where he's kneeling on the floor and say, "Stand up. Take a drink, man."
Yeah, he'll stand up and drink.
And Eric, if you'll give me a little narrative control here. I have a little bit of backstory that I've been hinting at for a while, but I want to just deploy now. As Swan looks off into the middle distance out the window and says, I can understand having your priorities divided by family. I recently met with a young man who I haven't seen in some time, and I think it switches to Swan voice-overing the scene where he's about to kill the Raven, and we see a reflection of Swan in the window behind the Raven, and then in a picture next to the Raven's head, in the sword that he's swinging down towards the Raven, in the Raven's eyes. And as the sword, slow motion is swinging, those depictions de-age to a young Swan, like a 13-year-old boy. And we cut to young Swan coming into a room where a older relative, probably his father, is beating a maid. And in the voiceover, Swan says, "This young man, I haven't seen him for some time. You know how it can be in noble families, where fathers, they lose control of themselves. Their nobility is little more than an excuse to do whatever they want. And they forget about the importance of control, but also of family." And we see that the person that Swan's father is beating is actually his younger sister, Emma. And then the two of them are shouting at each other. and young Count Swan steps in and separates them. As Emma runs off, his father then is like clutching his left arm and is clearly having signs of like heart attack and distress. And it's like, ah. And Swan's like, this young man, I remember clearly he told me a story about this time. His father was in distress and he simply left him to die. So I can understand having to choose between duty and family, especially when they are one and the same. And then it like watches Swan standing over his slowly dying father as his dad's like, bring a surgeon! And he's just like, no. And then it reverses out to Swan killing the Raven. Then it reverses out to Swan talking to Zydomir. And he says, my family has a secret order, and I've been reminded of it after seeing this young man again at the fourth wall after such a long time. My sister was once a member of this order, but I feel it is time to revive it. Brevoy needed an order of anti-magicians, those who would slay the dark creatures under the bed and in the wood. And I require of you this, that you become the first member of the Order of the Swan Heart.
Of course.
Then pledge your loyalty to me now and forever, and to my house, that we might fight back the devils hiding in the closet.
Yeah, I mean, he'll do it.
He holds out his new marquee ring. It's just, it's next to the old Count Swan ring. It's the new marquee ring for him to kiss.
Yeah,
Welcome
he'll
to
do
the tree house.
I mean,
The whole
welcome to the
thing.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
It's literally the Illuminati to kill Mason and
the-
those like
the-
Mason.
The biggest W, the /E I have ever pronounced.
Yeah,
And
now
sorry. Was
this
there
is-
more?
I was gonna
There's
say
a little
that
bit more.
I'm sorry.
this is the moment in like our TV show where the next time we see next time we see Zydomir, he has like the alternate black armor.
Oh, he's palette swapped.
Yeah.
Zydomir, I need you to begin researching whatever techniques the church has to destroy sorcerers, doppelgangers, pixies, whatever monsters hide at the edge of human civilization.
So Witcher.
So
I need him to become a witcher. Yeah.
Zydomir looks at you very awkwardly and says,
I can't read.
Your Grace, I will do whatever you command, but I cannot read nor write.
Then I command you to learn to do these things.
I can
Alright.
teach him.
That'll go well for him. This guy's dumb, dude. Like, he's not a smart guy. He has a trait reflecting how stupid he is.
I'm going to put my hand on his head and say, Zydomir, it is important that you learn to read and write and interpret, but you must still undertake whatever oral and physical training that anyone that will talk to you will give you in stopping dark sorcery. For I fear that this latest outburst by Mason may not be the last. And even then, Mason is ostensibly our ally. I would hate to see what one who is our enemy might do. And that said, Mason may one day be our enemy, and I will need you to be the warrior that stops her.
Yeah, he like salutes, you know, he does the thing.
I need you to do a thing for me, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make the decision on behalf of Zydomir. To think on it and be like, who do I know who could teach me how to read? And come ask Mason to teach him how to read. So that through learning how to read through Mason, he can then go and do the thing that he needs to do.
To destroy Mason!
Yeah, I'm definitely, that seems pretty reasonable to me. It's gonna take this guy kind of a while to learn how to read and
That's
write.
fine. We got
It's
time.
gonna take me some time to learn how to teach him too. So
And also, he also will need to get the research skill as well to like actually do the research part. So, anyway,
Listen,
we'll see how it goes.
Marquis Swan is about improving the education of those around him. He sponsors great men and women.
Don't you know anything about min-maxing?
It's not about the true optimized warrior is one who can do everything.
I'm just messing with you.
So,
Cut forward by 15 minutes to
So-
the couch.
Mason, where are you right now in this?
On my way
middle
to court.
Is Snake Meat on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snake Meat's my bro.
Yeah. Does Snake Meat ever leave your side to go do rat shit or anything?
It probably to do rat shit, yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, Snake Meat has a premonition for you.
Oh? What do you feel,
Snake
little
Meat.
friend?
Snake Meat is like, I don't know what kind of connection you have with Snake Meat per se, but it either will,
Conversation.
it will tell you, it's like shivering, right? Like it's scared, right?
What is wrong, my friend?
And it says, I don't know, it's like something's wrong. You shouldn't go to this meeting. Something's wrong.
Are you sure you're not just having a cold?
It bites you. Like,
Ow, you
fucking listen to me. Like it's real.
you little
Don't.
turd.
I'm not going in there. You can go in there yourself, but I'm not.
Don't worry, my friend. Don't worry.
These whiskers don't turn gray from a mouse who does stupid things.
No. It's okay. It's fine. Listen. You there, I say,
I like the smell of it.
I gesture to a valet. I'm like, you,
Yeah.
over here, now.
Yeah. The valet. Yeah, he comes over.
Hello there.
What?
I need you to go and tell Marquis Swan and the remnants of his court that I am going to need this court to take place in the gardens today.
Can I be like arriving
well-
at the room at this time?
Yes, my lord, or my lady. Or say, what would you say to a general?
Whatever,
Yes,
like
sir.
Sir?
general.
Just sir? Yes, general. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a little unorthodox. He's
I
muttering.
understand.
Yes, general. I'll let
I
them know.
understand. Count Swan will no doubt, Marquis Swan will no doubt tell you the same. Once you've delivered the message, please get out some patio or something.
Right. Of course. Okay. Cool. All right.
And I want to I lean in down to Snake Meat. I'm like, I listen when you talk. Just don't expect me to like do whatever you did. Shit, you did me. What?
Did you purposely want to be like late to the meeting, or could like Aurelius be like arriving? Like,
No,
as
you
this-
hell yeah, just keep walking. Like, come in, join me.
Yeah. So I like arrive on the scene. And I like see you just like standing awkwardly outside the room, and I'm just like, is the meeting not in here?
Yeah, you show up like Varys, like just wearing your clothes, like showing up,
exactly.
being like, huh?
Is that not where the meeting is?
I turn around and I'm like, I'm holding a rat in my hand, like stroking him, like trying to calm him down.
I'm not sure you ever seen Snake Meat, have you?
Maybe.
No, you have. I'm sorry. No, that wasn't directed at you, obviously, Mason. That was directed at Sulius.
The last few times I've been interacting with Mason, they've made a point to say that Snake Meat was in their like robes.
Okay, so it's been obscured.
So I don't think I've seen this rat before.
So you see one of probably the oldest rat you ever seen. Like it's fat, lumpy. It's got mottled gray fur, it's like almost like near white near its mouth. Like it's just so old. It's got like half its teeth are missing. It has a couple scars to it. Like it's just a ratty ass rat. You know what I mean?
So I turn to you. I'm holding this like ratty ass rat in my hand, and I'm like, no, not the meeting is going on. I have requested that we move to the gardens. My friend here is having a bad sense of this location, so. And I'm saying that like completely deadpan, as if the rat says it's bad, so therefore we should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm like gesturing for you to like, will you walk with me to the gardens?
So Aurelius's face, he just like does one of these, like flicks his eyes around, like, are you fucking with me? And is just like, the rat doesn't like the room.
I understand your incredulity. It must sound
It
pretty
hisses. It hisses at you.
mad. I understand your incredulity. It must sound pretty mad. Snake Meat is old and wise. I trust his sixth sense. sense. I meant sense.
Well, if Swan's okay with it, I guess.
That's when the messenger returned with a letter from Swan saying, "You don't summon me, I summon you."
Yeah.
I push open the door into the room like, Swan! Swan!
Sit
in the
down,
garden!
Mason. Sit down.
Well, that seems decisive. And Aurelius walks into the room.
I stand in the doorway. I'm like, we okay?
Why are we moving this meeting to the garden?
Oh, because the rat said so.
The rat said so. What rat is this exactly?
I like if you squint, you can see a rat moving in Mason's hand.
No, I don't think you does. In fact, I think snake meat has sufficiently hid itself in Ronald Swan's presence.
Ah, very good. Okay, so in that case,
I don't see a rat, Mason. I think it's time to sit down.
Yeah, like it could have been one of those like it was just here a second ago kind of things. But
maybe you need a drink.
I could use one right about now.
I understand sorcery can be taxing on the mind.
You understand so very little, but in that regard, you're not wrong. All the same, could we take this to the garden? I hope it's not like a problem for you. It's nice weather out today. It would please me if we could take it to the garden.
We're not going out to the garden because you and your imaginary rat friend asked to.
I roll my eyes at you and I'm like, fine. And I go in and sit. I'm like, snake meat is hidden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when you come inside, Aurelius gives you like a conciliatory nod, like thanks for not making this a thing kind of nod.
Boy, actually, you go back to the quick question: is snake meat hidden? Can snake meat be gone?
Yeah, I think so. If
it's given the opportunity, it's dipset out of here.
I think what's up then is like if snake meat moves to be like, no, I need to get out of here. I'm just like, okay.
It noped as soon as it caught whiff of Swan.
All right, so you go. I'm gonna go in there and talk to him.
Swan is scary.
I am pretty scary.
He doesn't like you. I say as I sit down.
Your imaginary rat friend. Well, I don't believe we've invented psychology yet, but I'm sure there's something to be said about your state of mind.
There's a lot to be said about my state of mind. How have you slept?
Not well. How about you?
Just fine, thank you.
Well, you see, recently I've been convalescing after I was horribly burned. Like, Krishenko's probably coming in at that moment.
Yeah. I nod to you as if you just said something that's like poignant. I'm like, good. You will learn from your experiences.
Yes, I did learn something, Mason.
I nod to you. Good.
Very well. The important part of this meeting is that we have, in fact, been granted a kingdom charter. We will meet with the other charters. I believe there are 3 of them quite soon.
That's wonderful.
What land have you been given? Prepare yourself to go to a party. I'm looking at both of your clothing, and it is acceptable for if you were in a gutter gathering trash. You will find yourself new clothes post haste, and comport yourself with the dignity that nobility expect from each other.
Enough about nobility and all these things that don't matter. Tell me about the charter.
We'll learn more at the party, Mason.
I shake my head at you. I'm like, must you do this?
I can.
Who are these other? At least who are these other people?
We will find out at the party, Mason.
No, do you know nothing? Is this as blind for you as it is for us?
I happen to know the name of our new capital city. I have a vision.
Do tell.
Yes, our new capital city shall be known as Karasuno, and we will design it in regards to this. And he holds up Abadar's holy book, which in Pathfinder lays out the exact way you should have city planning. Look it up. No. It's in the Abadar. It's in the Abadar thing. It's literally how to make the perfect city. Erodian used it in order to make Absalom.
I shake my head a little bit at that. I'm like, oh no, not that one. Oh, it's so inefficient and bad.
I am not going to take architectural lessons from a penniless vagrant.
Aurelius looks a little bit offended when
I-
Mason says that.
I cast and I look to you. I'm like, no offense.
Offense
Careful.
taken.
The
I'm
important part is that
It's
the
an old
nobility,
book.
the nobility of
We're working
Brevoy
on
has
a new one.
refused to aid us in the future of the country. They wish to be bribed more and more, and never seem to have quite enough money from my pocket. Therefore, we will be relying on the priesthood of Abadar.
Isn't
Any
that the
that
nature
can
of
be-
things?
Any that can be spared will be brought to help administrate the country. And since priests are no nobles, and I don't need to comport with them in the nature of nobility, I expect there will be plenty of extra money to go around to make sure the people are happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
May I make a suggestion, Your Grace?
Of course, that's why we're here.
Among the faithful, there are many craftsmen that have trained in the halls of Abadar, the schools of the great crafts, who are not technically among the clergy. It would be wise to make use of these people that have spent so much time cultivating
I don't
their
disagree.
skill.
Aurelius
fact-
speaks wisdom.
There should be some manner of advancement. One path for those who would follow the good book and speak with God, and another for specialists who would carry out his word and create things.
I must say, I think this is a good idea to some extent. You might be making a mistake in disavowing yourself completely of the nobility. The people of the land will not be used to be ruled over by bishops and clerics, but will be expecting lords and ladies. You might find yourself with trouble on hand the more you deviate from the way of ways.
Someone must drag humanity into the future.
Yeah, maybe, but you have another problem. I say that like I'm trying to test you if like are we having a conversation about this now? Are you taking advice? Is what I'm basically hinting at.
I think you're nearing an end of a rope, but Swan's willing to listen for now. You did open the conversation with my imaginary rat friend wants us to leave the room.
You did.
It's a weak
But-
opening. It's a weak opening.
Right. So
Not
the thing-
a great play, but I'll listen. If your
You'll-
idea here isn't crazy, we'll talk.
I think you will find that you might have a problem in executing this, at least immediately and with direct effect. You may wish to lean on the crutch of nobility.
I
as it were.
attempted to lean on the crutch of nobility. They
You
wanted
don't-
more and
don't-
more out of my pocket, and frankly, I'm tired of men who find themselves working only for money and not for the effort to protect the end of the world.
You will not find most clerics as understanding or as wise as Aurelius. Yeah, many of the clergy would look to their scriptures and look to their interpretations of the dogma before they do what you say. Now, if you invest these clerics with power to rule, where a noble would obey his oaths, these people will obey a book and not you.
I appreciate the fact that you bring that up, Mason. In fact, I have a plan for that as well. I'm not sure I have mentioned it to you, but in becoming the prophet Aurelius, I was granted specific understanding of the scripture. We shall soon have another book in the works.
Will it contain a better plan for city building? I say, clearly jabbing at you.
Aurelius rolls his eyes and says, it has been declared through the church that I have the knowledge, have the wisdom, and the connection with the Lord Abadar to create doctrine. I shall begin to do so.
I should expect so. You can work his will. One would expect you can write his fiction.
Fiction. Yes, anyhow, if you are worried about these people following the Abadar and seeing that as being different from following Swan, I shall quickly disabuse them of that idea.
I nod to you. I'm like, yeah, that sounds fine to me. I merely brought it up in case you were worried that a zealous man's interpretation of his doctrine might be less stable of a foundation than a man bound by oaths.
The church is bound by oaths to Abadar.
Not in the same way. A noble will be bound to
And
you.
look where the nobility has gotten us.
In fairness, none of them have breached their oaths or come as close as you have.
Perhaps I have a suggestion. If Mason can be so successful where others have failed to recruit the nobility, perhaps she should prove it.
I agree.
I shake my head and wave my hand on you. I would not take this piddling asinine nobility if it were the last people alive. No offense. What I'm talking about is if we are allotted a lot of land, we would need to divide it. Unless we possess the means to centralize all control, the land should be divvied up as a king would to his vassals. Now, who you divvy it up to should, in my opinion, be people you invest with nobility, not bishoprics. For the simple matter of not wanting zealous people who lean on their own interpretation in charge where oaths and fealty should suffice.
The
But that is
bishops
my
will
opinion.
swear oaths to me directly then, as the Marquis of the new county. And they will be responsible for subdividing the lots, as one would allow returning soldiers to take new lots of land.
Good
after
plan.
their service.
Good
The
plan.
farmers will be responsible to me through a chain.
Aurelius? This is unprecedented. You would need to be
We'll
on board
create
with...
a new council of cardinals, a senate, if you would, with me at the head as the emperor.
I look to you like emperor. Well, whatever. Aurelius, you would have to be on board with this. If these people go awry, they must be punished, as one would normally not allow punishment to befall those who walk the path of God. Normally, you and your ilk see a certain kind of favoritism in the eyes of the law. This will not be allowed down there. It cannot be, for it will be utter calamity and pandemonium.
I believe that there was a mistake early on in the conception of ruling class. I believe that this is our chance to remedy that, to bind
agree.
the church and the law so tightly together that they are indistinguishable, as it is in the holy realm above.
If people would be guided by more moral values, then yes, I agree. This sounds like a good idea to me.
Oh, there goes that Confucianism. Have good morals. Go with the flow. Follow the law.
Yay, theocracy!
I know.
I
We're
looked
literally
to Ronald. I'm like, yeah, this sounds good. This sounds like a good plan.
Krushenko, I want to commend you on your efforts, by the way. Mason has gone from being an illiterate child to basically being able to talk at a level that I would expect of a young woman. You have done well to guide her along this path.
I imagine Einhard, is that what his name is?
Yeah, that's the kid.
Yeah, I imagine Einhard being there with his father because he's a part of the court. And I'm like leaning in and being like...
I want to imagine that
me.
Einhard is like ripped as shit right now. Like he's been training with Zydomir every day, getting the crap beaten out of him. And then he's just like Chris Pradding.
He's either swole or he's broken.
I feel
no,
like
he's fucking he's swole. He used to have
Nice.
he was made of metal in the crucible. That was his training, right? He used to have like blonde, wavy, pretty boy locks and stuff. Now it's like short and like you know he's strong.
Young Kiefer Sutherland is who plays him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I lean into him when Swan says this about it being a child. I'm like, he loves me. Don't worry.
All right, that got weird. Nice job, Krushenko. Younger Krushenko, how is your training coming?
Excellent, my liege. And he says,
wow,
as
that's
you-
been a huge change. Fantastic.
you see, you know, like you see him like when he like does like the hand across the heart thing, like you see his like bicep like flex, you know, like you see this guy's ripped now.
I think when he's like trying to show off Zydomir, like it does like a little, you know, he gives him like one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. And he like lets go. Right. Yeah. And just
you may have betrayed your oaths and fallen as a holy knight, but you've done good work in forging the iron into steel in this young man.
Oh no, Ronald, you haven't. Have you stripped him of his title?
Of course I have. He's a heretic
Oh.
and a traitor, but he might
Oh,
redeem
Ronald.
himself.
Single tier.
I look to Saitome as like, he is being too harsh, and he knows he's being too harsh. You are neither a heretic nor a traitor.
If I was being too harsh, you would be hanging from the neck until dead in a courtyard.
I think Sir Zidimir actually interjects, and says like, listen to Marquis, right?
Oh.
Like, don't interrupt the Marquis.
Ooh.
Pitter patter. It is complete tosh.
All of you will need to prepare, even you, Heinhardt. Get new clothes. Refine your manners, for we will present ourselves as being the primary party heading out for a charter. We don't just want to lead our own country. We want to stay one step ahead of the rest, so that they may follow in our wake, pulled along by our brilliance.
The others will learn to fall in line soon enough. Will be a good start.
How is your bonds of vassalage with the capital?
I'm just
That's a
confused by that
good question. What's our allegiance status towards Greater Brevoy?
I believe that I am making a personal oath of vassalage to the king regent, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's up to Eric to tell me how that goes.
Technically, you guys are basically franchises. For the time being, you are literally Marquis, the three of you, or excuse me, the four of you, and if you guys can pay, basically, there's a payment to become a certified Duke of these lands. Effectively, you have to pay the King Regent a certain amount of money, showing that your country is stable enough to afford such a thing. Right? It's kind of like it's proof that you guys have survived, right? And you can attain permanent status.
This is a good idea, Swan. However, and I say that I stand up, I get closer to your desk. I'm
It's
like,
outrageous, by the way, the amount of money.
That makes sense. So I approach you in this way that you see Mason do whenever they like getting into the political mode. You need to
getting ready to ignore you.
When you get invested with this new land, you should immediately, upon swearing vassalage to Noleski, you should ask to be loosened from your bond to the Mannings.
No,
you cannot hold two masters.
We have heard this argument before, Mason, and I will hear it no longer. Countess Swan will be protected under my care, and those of my heirs until eternity comes.
Swan, listen up instead. Pull your head from out your nethers and listen. I'm not asking you to relinquish your lands. If he is giving you vassalage of the south, you are a vassal. You are a vassal directly to him. That means you can no longer also be a vassal to the Mannings. You should use this opportunity to get your lands for yourself. No longer would Swan lands be of the Mannings. It would be of you and your alone. It would be awkwardly geographically situated. I'm sure the Mannings would bark at the idea, but they cannot deny it. Once you are a vassal to Noleski.
Crazy talk. I immediately just stop.
Yeah.
Listen, like, is this true, Sulius? Could it be done?
So, to take a step back real quick, I did want to ask, because I think Nightmare brought up a good point, which was I thought the vassalage they were waiting to bestow vassalage specifically so that it didn't look like a military expansion.
Yeah.
So what's the idea?
So you're technically independent. Yeah, technically you're independent. Sorry, when I say franchise is like, basically you're paying for this yourself, and then essentially once you have your kind of self-funding this, you also then have to pay even more to show that you're stable. Right. But then they will incorporate you into the fold.
So So this is what Aurelius will say is
it's essentially like a private colony fund.
He will say, Your Holiness, if you have an opportunity to gain your independence from Manning, I think you must take it. Indeed. Legal opportunities for these things are rare, and the Lord above shines down on those who take legal action, even when sometimes it is more difficult.
Very well. Krishenko, Zydomir, any new business to bring before the council? I feel like I could form a law office called Krishenko, and Zydomir.
Yeah. None. None. Do you still say Marquise and Eminence? Your Eminence?
Yes. It's like
or Radiance.
It's an ultra count, but not a mini duke.
Yeah.
I call him your Radiance and your Holiness because that's like
the religious.
Yeah.
I call him Ronald.
Yeah. So they say no.
Cool.
However, yeah.
I've also heard you've been granted warships.
Yes, I am an admiral of 3 warships.
That is such a humorous
amazing.
image. What warships have you been granted?
I believe their names are the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And fuck you, Eric. That's going to be canon as shit now.
Oh, no. They shall certainly need to be given new names and rechristened as part of the Holy Empire. There is one thing I know about a
sailing ship, sir, and that is you never rename it. That's bad luck.
Well, so I don't know anything about sailing ships.
Would you truly go to the captains of the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria and have them rename such fine, brevish names?
Can we please not have the ships be named that?
So this is, okay. I don't think Lady Castretti hasn't left back for Patax yet, right? She's still here in the city.
No, she's here. Why is she going back to Pitax? I don't remember.
I don't think she was. I think she's still sticking around. Well, I think near the end of this meeting, or maybe this is even after. I'll leave it up to you guys. Ronald, she barges into whatever you're doing and needs to talk to you immediately.
I will definitely dismiss the meeting and say, Sulis, please stay for after I speak with the Lady Iravetti. Please sit down.
No, this isn't on the like the schedule. She just like comes into.
That's what I'm saying. Like she barges in. I'm like, everybody, you're dismissed. We're at the end. This is clearly an emergency. Yeah. And I'm asking Sulius to stay behind because I need to talk to him later.
Okay.
I assume I'm invited, so I stay behind.
So
I look at Mason to make it clear that Mason is not invited to stay.
Yeah. So
I look at Zydomir to make sure that Mason is uninvited to this meeting.
You should not dismiss me.
Let's bring us over here, because this will make the most sense to do.
Are we going to make a big thing of this?
Hell yeah.
Lady Iravetti, might I ask the nature of this emergency so that I can figure out whether my Sorcerer General might be better put spending her time learning how to dress properly?
She plops down a map. And
I look at the map.
It's a map of Brevoy and the northern reaches and stuff. Kind of what we're seeing on screen here, sans the hexes. And Patax is listed there. And she makes a big circle.
Is it any good?
Right here. I mean, is the map any good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an accurate map.
Daniel's like, I'm looking for some map porn here right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I am.
What you circled right there is literally the city-state of Patax and its controlled areas.
Yeah. She comes in saying, your king is offering an adventuring group to settle these lands, not recognizing Patax's claims on them.
Indeed, it would seem that he is.
We don't have a
This is actually advanced information. This is information that would be revealed at the charter. Like, this is one of the charter groups.
Yeah,
and
I'm not surprised.
You're mistaken.
And she's like,
we don't have a king.
You need to fix this.
Wait, are you being serious?
She just... Are you even there?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Sulius.
I thought it was just Sulius too. Mason is insisting that they say, and I'm definitely flagging Zydomir down to get Mason out of the room. This is
okay. All right. Well, it sounds like we should make some tests before we go this way.
So I think what she says is, Swan, can you please get your dogs out of this room so we can talk? Their barking is annoying me.
Yeah. So Zydomir will be like, it's time to leave, milady.
All right.
Or actually,
no.
I guess you would say sir, because you are still his general.
I am indeed. I want to convince Swan to let me stay. Right, there is no way I should not be here. What's your will do?
What? I will say that this is something you could convince me of with a roll.
How do you do so?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I've already done it. I'm literally saying to you, like, I'm saying to you, I should not be absent this meeting. This seems to be discussing personal information that I need to share in. You should not be without your
advisor. You're the fucking
here.
General. Yeah,
I'm the general. We're
sense.
talking about the military.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like rhetoric.
Sounds like it to me.
Yep.
All right. Well, I have will 5, so good luck.
Here we go. What's up if I fail this? Are you going to throw me out, or are you going to ask that I make myself useful?
I'm going to ask Zydomir to throw you out, like, and like bodily, like, pick you up and move you out of the room in a way that makes it clear that you're unwelcome during this discussion.
So specifically, it's not listed here on the map, but this is called the Nomen Heights, I think, or the in other words, it's also the the Nomen Heights are the geographical hills that separate where you guys were from Pitax, essentially. It's like around here, but this is also just called the Glenabon Uplands, and this is specifically where she circled the Glenabon Uplands and being like, we have a conflict here. This is
it's
our
a horrible,
land.
Trashy place.
Mason,
Sweet.
You have made your case, but this is not a manner for generals and troops. This is a manner for words and diplomacy.
This is true.
Why don't you go get a new dress, and we can see about talking to the king.
I walk up to the desk, like I walk up to the desk. I slam my hand on it. I'm like, you should not dismiss your advisor here, fool. And I leave and I march out of the room. I'm invoking my my instinct.
Zydomir does the like bodyguard thing where he's like, all right, move along now. Move along now.
And Zydomir, close the door on your way out.
He does.
Yeah.
I turn around on the spot and like start talking to Zydomir, like, can you believe what an ass he's being? He's so stupid. And Zydomir, of course, is not having any of it, but I just keep like talking shit as I leave.
Yeah.
Lady Iravetti, this is the first I've heard of groups being sent to this specific area, but I'm assuming your information is, in fact, correct. It is unsurprising to me, now that I've seen it. Is there some agreement we can come to? Some way to bridge this divide between our countries?
She stares at you and says, Brevoy must recognize the lands that Pitax has formerly claimed. And she spews out the distance stuff, right?
Yeah,
and she probably draws another circle, basically, being like, this has been...
Pitax is.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty audacious for the size of Pitax, right? Like, just eyeballing it, it's audacious to claim that
it's how the River Kingdoms work. City-states claim a huge area, but can only manage the immediate area.
Yeah, right, exactly.
The key here is that Pitax has a smaller city on the East Selen River. All right.
Yes.
I'm about to shoot some knowledge at people about a map that's not actually here that we can see. But that East Selen River connects with the Shrike River, which you can see all the way over to the right, on the lake that the Gnarl Marshes is at. And my whole thing in the beginning of the game was bringing trade down both of those rivers to build Brevoy. And so I'd probably start saying something like that to Lady Iravetti, like, your control over the East Selen River, I suspect, is problematic. Traders from Restov must go over the land route to New Stepven to avoid passing through your lands and taking your tariffs. And additionally, Miven controls the southern end of that. I suspect that with these new expansions, Miven and Pitax will both find themselves sorely tested. I will certainly, you have my word, that I will attempt to dissuade the king from pressing upon proper Pitaxian lands. However,
What do you mean proper? She says, knowing that that's the fine print that defines the word here.
Exactly. The ability of any kingdom to hold what it has is to have what it holds.
Well, why don't... No, she says, why don't I prove it to them?
I would rather you don't, but I understand.
Obviously meaning, why don't I fight them off of it?
I'm agree. Like, I understand that completely. You are contracted with me, and that would cause all sorts of problems, like negating your contract, breaking several oaths, and probably starting a war with Brevoy. I feel that there is a diplomatic solution, even if it is not
She looks at you
currently available to me.
and she says, you know I'm right. You would do the same if you were in my shoes.
I don't disagree with you at all. I feel that there is a way to allow cooler heads to prevail here.
Cut to Mason walking circles outside, fuming.
Exactly. That's why we get you out of the room.
She said, cooler heads.
Milady, do not let yourself be blinded by small short-term loss in terms of long-term gain. Be honest, what portion of this land has Pitax actually been able to maintain control of over the last 100 years? We want to make sure that there is a solution that works for both parties. Now, I know that you want to see the Greenbelt settled, and we shall make sure that Pitax benefits greatly in the long run, even if it takes some short-term sacrifice from all involved.
Yeah, that's not going to fly at all, dude. Let's try to make a roll there. You're like, what?
You guys suck.
You're telling her she's wrong? No. Okay, try.
I mean, I thought I was like trying to help Swan's argument more than anything.
I could definitely build off of this in a way that
Okay,
suck.
well then maybe that's helping. But what do you...
Aurelius may have struck onto a point here, Lady Iravetti. I suspect you have had trouble gathering taxes, administrating the northern parts of your realm. Is this not so?
No. There's been no problems in my lands.
I mean, we know for a fact that's not true, right? Out of character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you caught her, she was like literally leading patrols, saving the land.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's like she's literally doing that right now.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I was
she's saying
angling
no,
for
it's no
ugly
problem.
Truth, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Administrating these lands brings you little to nothing. The river is the key. You have control of 2 cities, but the river is the key here. These people in the north, there's probably some deal we can broker where you cede some of the land to these colonies with a recognition of greatly bolstered trade through the East Selin River. I will put my own personal companies, warships, fleets behind it. Mercantilism will flow, and through it, you will gain greater wealth, taxes, and influence through the river. Whatever minor losses in land you suffer, you will gain greater wealth and power, objects and things. But more importantly, that river is how you get to the Greenbelt, and with it, the hated Gnarl Marshes, which we all wish to see destroyed.
She stabs the map with a dagger and says, no. Whatever offer they're promising you, whoever takes this land will pay it to me instead.
I would like to.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna buy the land from her. She will cede it to.
That's not
No,
what she's saying.
no, that's not what she's saying. She's saying that colony will become a vassal to Pitax instead of Brevoy.
Can I roll ambition-wise here? I want to know like what she really wants here.
Oh, totally.
She's
Totally.
definitely got some broader goal behind this.
Oh, yeah.
She's clearly an ambitious lady.
Really?
No problem.
Okay.
This is like I mean, I don't know what the oh yeah, because Wises don't really tell you. This is probably 1 or 2. Probably 1.
Sure. What does failure look like?
She doesn't want to have her lands taken away.
Well, but like I'm trying to like offer her like a quid pro quo.
That's
like,
a good
she'd get
question.
more land from settling the
I think this
Greenbelt.
is just a good wise. I think this is just you having the right wise. I don't think it requires a roll because I don't know what the failure condition here. It's
Okay.
all caps, bold letters, world domination.
Okay. Yeah. I think then the way I helped was the best way I could, which was keep your eyes on the greater prize. I mean, that's probably still the best way to
Out
help
of
there.
character, you need to tell me about this world domination thing, bro.
Yeah, I don't worry. I got you.
Yeah, no, like conquest, and she wants to rule what she feels is in her heart is hers. But right now, maybe I don't know. Also, ambition-wise, you know that she wants to kill something.
You're
She
looking
wants
at a
to kill-
character here.
she
who
wants
has a
to kill
belief
the
that's,
spirit.
Like Pitax's mine.
She wants to kill
Yeah.
the forest spirit thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think then
She says
way,
that's the biggest existential threat to Pitax, but now it's like, oh, here's another threat. It's like, okay, I'm gonna kill that one too.
I think then the way I tried to help Swan is the best way I could. So if Swan
Yeah.
has some role intent he wants, then
Sorry.
I mean, if I know about the world domination thing, I can take a different course
Shouldn't have sent me out.
that's still building upon that.
I don't think you know. I don't think you know.
I'd have to tell
I
you.
know,
after.
but I need you to. That's what I'm saying. You must tell me. Tell me.
I mean, I can't tell you
Even
in
if
front
it's
of her.
coded language, tell me, buddy.
Use the PC language.
She doesn't really, but she doesn't really hide this though. All right, like you could make a case that you can make an untested wise, ambition wise, if you wanted to.
I mean, so like what you're seeing here, Swan, like what
Or
Swan
untrained.
is looking at is himself. He's looking at a mirror image of himself
Yeah.
being told that
What would
someone
you
has
do?
carved through Swanlands, right? It's like someone is going to take half your land. No.
I know all of this, but I need you to tell me about the world domination. This is literally what you've been training your whole life for. You are a politician priest. You have to have some way of fucking getting this message across to me. Just be like,
You whisper it.
remember Abaddon 2210? And I'm like, oh, that's the chapter about world domination.
Just whisper it. You're an advisor. Go over
I
and
mean,
whisper
yeah,
it to
yeah.
him.
I think that's what it is. I think that like there's like this like moment of silence where they're like sort of staring at each other, and Aurelius does the like advisor whisper in the king's ear thing, and he just says, she wants all of it, everything.
Sulius, can you leave us for a moment? I will need to see you after.
Of course, he leaves.
Lady Iravetti, I don't know how much you know of me, but I too covet new lands, but more importantly, conquest. And I feel like you are a person who likes to kill things. Is that not true?
When necessary.
I have to say,
We are of a same like in mind.
you seem
what
to
she
have
says.
known that Raven fellow before I brutally slaughtered him.
I think she's quiet.
Had encounters with him before?
Of course.
Positive ones?
She doesn't say anything.
I enjoyed killing him, you know. I have plans. Very big plans. Niven, the south. The East Sullen River, the Strike River, all of them lead into the river kingdoms. Ships and armies traveling along them could quickly strike at several city-states and take them. If you and I were to ally, we might be able to present a plan to the king to not take your particular lands. Send these colonies somewhere else. And even if they did take them, we will take them back later together. These colonies, I expect, will be, yes, this is the Swan proposes scene. Not marriage, but world domination. I expect these colonies to be poorly managed by idiots and fools and political lackeys. I feel that it will be no problem to return them to their rightful ruler. Stick with me, and you will never hunger for conquest again, because it will be all that you have, all the time. The River Kingdoms have not been united since its inception, but before I die, I mean for it to be a wall against which all can be tested. With my funding and industrialization, your knowledge of firearms, their creation and training, we could quickly raise armies capable of shooting far and fast, killing knights and beings of great magic from a distance that they cannot respond from. Our resources, pooled into one, could create an unstoppable juggernaut, a machine of war. And so I ask that you allow cooler heads to prepare a plan, and that together we might stand against all comers.
Awesome.
I wish I'd had a speech prepared for that. I also was looking through my list of anime song endings and openings. I couldn't find anything relevant.
I mean, I'm rooting for you.
Dice.
Yeah, dice it up.
This
What
is
the
the
hell?
epitome of persuasion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's...
Because
Let's
she's
make music together.
she's
Let's
the
make some
epitome
harmony.
of stubborn. I do this myself. So
Yeah. Also,
she
she
says-
just got finished telling us that she.
Pussycat dolls me. She's like, I don't need a man to make it happen. And I'm like, listen, we can do this together, though.
No.
Uh,
I need no one, and no one is strong enough to stand in my way.
I don't believe that you need anyone.
This is mutually beneficial.
Indeed.
For
What if
now.
we stood together, side by side, back to back?
Also, didn't she just literally get done telling
Why
you
not-
that she only enjoys
No.
killing when necessary?
I mean, I enjoy killing when necessary.
I believe. Roll the dice. You can do it.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have help from Sulius from before.
No, she's like, I want to be very clear. This is mutually beneficial because you have money right now.
Okay. Well, based on that, and before I start forking things, my intent is to get Lady Iravetti on my side with letting cooler heads prevail here, and then later on we'll just go fucking bloodily conquest anything we decide to set our own mind on.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
your intent is to have her accept that her lands are being taken away.
For the time being.
No, I mean, I would love it if those lands weren't taken away. Like, my intent here isn't to tell her, accept that. My intent is, we're going to fight this in the courts, and then if it happens, and we'll get it back. My intent is, let's do this together. We're stronger together. And yes, she has pointed out I have the money, which is why I would like to fork resources, my friend.
You can't fork an attribute.
Fuck,
Did you
son
get-
of a bitch.
No.
All
You
right.
can make a link test if you wanted to. You could be like, I want to conjure up a financial incentive.
I would like to conjure up a new army for you to have. Here's $10 billion to make
No.
a regiment.
Listen, I don't think this would be far off for her for this to say. Would be, maybe she doesn't say it, but I think you know what she wants right now, and what would make this like automatic would be for one day that you kneel to her.
That's not going to happen.
I know,
Crazy.
but you know that's what she probably
Alright.
wants. Like at least Sulius knows. Like fucking, that's that's the answer from like Sulius' perspective. Like if Swan would pledge fealty to her, it'd be no problem.
Not going to happen, especially since it's already in the reverse.
I know. Well, that's why she's not going to bow to anybody.
Maybe this is not a situation then when a role is applicable.
That's the thing. She won't. No, like this is still like a pact. Like this is still benefiting her, but you could never convince her to go with you. Like to ever swear fealty to you or anything like that. That's never going to happen. This
unless
is a
something
partnership.
changes.
This is
that's fine. We don't have to swear fealty to each other.
Yeah, right.
It seems like Swan is suggesting a partnership.
Yeah, it's not okay. Well,
what
then
I'm
she's
doing.
going to be very clear about the terms about that, right? Is that it's a partnership, and under no way will I ever kneel to you.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just ambush the city later when she's not looking.
Yeah, good luck.
I would like
We
to
believe.
work etiquette, seduction, administration, court-wise, lord-wise,
You have
Lord
my help
wise?
with ambition wise.
command, and a help. Yes.
Court-wise.
I mean, we're literally talking about going to the noble courts and trying to fight this.
And you're talking in a court.
Yes. I mean, where else are you going to bring?
I don't
court-wise?
think. Why seduction?
Why? I mean, we're
What have you
literally talking
done?
about a partnership here, buddy. The chat is literally talking about fucking harems, Eric. I don't know how less seduction-y you can get.
Because
Do
the
I
show's
have to-
anime.
Do I have to get up and kiss her? Does there have to be a bar in the background string?
You have not done enough then to make this seduction.
Well, Eric. Very well. I accept that, and we'll work on it later, maybe. If
Okay.
I feel like it.
Okay.
Court-wise.
Etiquette, administration, court, lord. Can I do logistics? Spend a lot of time talking
No,
about the
dude,
logistics of war.
you're trying to convince her. Why are these things applicable?
I mean, logistics.
That's the
literally
execution
my
of
whole
this.
argument. All right.
That you're trying to get her on board. You're trying to persuade her with this stuff. You don't have the facts and figures in front of you of how this is going to work. This is a broad thing. So I don't think logistics and that stuff, administration, matters here. You're talking about a grand strategy. So, like, something strategy would make sense. Like, you're talking about very broad brush strokes right now, not
Logistics
nitty gritty.
is literally the strategy of moving things from one place to another. It's fine. It's fine.
Am I wrong? You
No.
can say I'm wrong.
I think it's time. I think you've lobbied admirably for extra dice AP, and it's time to roll
Yeah.
them.
Let's before you roll them, we should set the failure consequence.
Yeah. So the failure consequence is she won't. I mean, failure consequence. Boy, I don't even know this is even part of the success consequence. She's going to fight them,
I mean,
whether or not it's sanctioned or not.
a good failure consequence could
so-
be that she does what she did initially, right? She said, "You need to fix this," right? Like you.
No, yeah,
if
okay,
you don't
yeah. The
fix
good,
this-
the failure consequence is this, or our deal's off. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
What's her will?
It's gonna be a total of 7.
Wow, look at all these forks I'm trying to get shut down. I mean, this is not happening, guys.
We believe.
It's not happening.
Oh.
I got 4 6s, so I'm
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, you can.
this.
You mean it's not
got
happening?
this.
Look at you, fucking humble brag, not happening.
All right, that's
Oh
10.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See,
You okay,
there you
Sam?
go. There you
No,
go. There
I
you go.
can't roll for shit, and you take all of my luck.
No, so I think she
And the only time
smirks,
you can
right?
roll is when you do faith in my presence.
Yeah. No, so her rage is like assuaged. Ha, rage assuaged. So she says, fine, she looks at you and says, I know you can take care of this. Just how I know we can kill. Has she ever told you the name?
Nope.
So if she said Narissa?
Nope.
Okay.
Narissa. I'm writing
Okay.
that down
Kill
right now.
Narissa. Yeah. We'll kill the spirit of the woods.
What is a
together.
Narissa?
She's hunting the spirit of the woods.
Right. I mean, I
And
didn't
it's
know.
it's her
Okay,
name.
so
Its
Swan
name is
doesn't know if it's
Narissa.
proper name or if
Sure.
it's like
Oh, with the
we're gonna go
species.
find the zombie.
Yeah.
like, it's a
You don't know.
It's a
No, you don't.
Narissa.
You don't know. It's
I
just
don't
the
know if it's a
Narissa.
pronoun or a noun.
NYRA. Yeah. NYRASSA. Right, Narissa.
You have
NYR.
experience, Lady Iravetti, fighting creatures of magic.
Narissa.
Do you have some sort of primer, an adventuring journal that you've kept? Some manual on defense against the dark arts?
She's going to she smiles and says, not for free.
What's the price?
We're not sitting down, but she sits down in the chair and just sits there waiting for you to be the person who offers the first thing. I want to see what this is worth to you. Is maybe what she says. Maybe she just communicates that with body language, because she's a badass. She's doing this the most badass way of, when you make a deal, you don't want to be the person who offers the first thing.
Yeah,
right?
But I'm a merchant. I feel like,
well,
I have an instinct even here. I have offered deals before the knives come out. Interesting.
yeah. She knows you want this now, so she'll say, I'll be up front. I can't tell you anything that gives away too much of our competitive advantage. That's what she says. But I think there's space to negotiate with.
If you wish to kill this Narissa, this knowledge will be key in having troops prepared to deal with this. I think the question is, what is it worth to you to have allies that have a chance to help fight? Turn the tables. What does competent help cost you? Clearly, I deal with Mason on a regular basis.
I don't think your Mason is good at appraising their worth.
I believe Mason thinks that their worth is much higher. If I was to take what Mason believed that they were worth and sell them for what they are actually worth, I would make quite a bit of money.
Yes. Why do you expect me to do the same for you and undersell what this is worth to you?
It's not the question.
For all you know,
it's worth to me. It's what it's worth to you.
For all you know, I don't need your help.
Defeat this creature. It is not a question of need or want. You have signed a contract. You will be traveling with me to this place. One way or another, Narissa will be slain. The question is how much it will cost you in the process. You have said that you want to be the one to strike the final blow and take Narissa. Will you do that over the body of 1,000 dead men, or will you do it with 20 armed and prepared mage slayers at your back?
1,000 dead of your men? Sure.
How about 1,000 dead of your men?
Ha,
Unless
she
they're
laughs.
all trained mage slayers as well.
She's quiet.
This information is vital to the undertaking.
I will take care of the mage slaying. You just bring the extra bodies.
I have unique and independent need of this knowledge as well.
She
Do not
looks at you.
downplay the...
A regular sword does just fine, is what she says. For your problems.
For my problems, I recently saw a tavern lit on fire when someone got angry. I suspect that a trained monster can do far worse in far less time to far more people. I need ways to counter and negate these things before they can speak words of power and light men on fire.
She doesn't want to reveal. I don't know if you can actually... I'm interested. So right now, as player to play or GM to player, I don't know what she'd be willing to part with that knowledge with, but I know that is like a super huge deal for her. So
can pick it up later,
I
then.
want to
We
know
don't have
what you think is what this is worth.
I mean,
it
we don't
doesn't
have to resolve
exist.
this now. If you want to think about it and come up with an answer later, and the answer
No,
could be nothing.
I don't think. No, I'm interested in what you think this is worth.
I don't
because
even know what it is, Eric.
You're asking for
I'm asking for the
anti-magic stuff.
secret knowledge to defeat dark sorcerers and witchering. What does it take for me to get the trial of the grasses? Tell me, Eric.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think she... Okay, then. Here's something... I'm not sure you can get that from her, but here's what you maybe can get. You can get an idea of just how much she actually knows.
No, I don't care about that.
Okay.
You're telling me that instead of having the thing that I want, I can see how big the book is without ever touching it? I don't care how big the book is. I want the book.
Well, the question is, does she actually have something of value for you in the first place? She's saying she does.
If the book doesn't exist, I still want the book, Eric. No matter,
Okay.
like, that's the only thing that matters
All right,
here.
okay, cool.
I don't care how much she knows. I want to know it all.
All right.
If she's unwilling to part with it, that's fine.
Yeah, no. She's unwilling to part with it. And she's like, you're going to have to trust me. She picks up the dagger out of the map, puts it away, and says, you're going to have to trust me. I will come through. I'll come through with what you desire.
I guess I'm glad that you trust me to deal with the king. We'll see how that particular endeavor goes. I claim no secret knowledge of king convincing, however.
Well, deal with that, and we'll discuss this further.
All right. I feel like the scene. I need to bring Sulius back in.
How do you? No, not yet.
Not yet.
How do you say goodbye?
I mean, Eric, come on. That was literally the first thing I thought of was you were teeing me up for some Hamilton. Do you need me to teach you how to say goodbye?
How do you say goodbye to Lady Iravetti?
Lady Iravetti, I'm glad that we can come to such fortuitous circumstances regarding partnership. However, you did interrupt a council meeting that was in session, and if there's nothing further to discuss, I must speak with my advisor.
Very well.
Say it politely, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's right,
Okay.
EricVulgaris.
Yeah, she's like, very well. Play with your pets. As she opens the door, nods to No, she actually is going to take a moment and whisper to Mason and say, sorry about how I acted to you. You deserve better than this guy. And then she just walks away. Not giving me a chance to reply.
Mason doesn't reply. Mason like,
oh yeah, it's been expected.
Mason like looks at her and being like, "Wow, you get it."
She like sachets out, right? Like just like struts like confidently.
There's a moment where her, like I'm rewarding her saying that by recognizing and being like, "Yes, also thank you," right? But I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
And just for reference, Zulius, I've been like spitting fire out here, like ever since you came out of the room. I've been like, just talking shit. I changed targets.
If Aurelia,
Hold on. Before we go to the next scene, we're at our next break time. So, want to do that first?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, let's go to our next break. We'll see you guys on the other side. See you in 5 minutes.